Go. All right, here we are. On the Metal Voice today, my guests, the legendary drummer, Vanilla Fudge. Man, the list goes on and on. Vanilla Fudge, Cactus, Rod Stewart, Ozzy Osbourne, Blue Murder, King Cobra, the one and only Mr. Carmine Appice. What's going on, Carmine?
Hey, dude. How you doing?
And of course, Jim Crean, critically acclaimed solo artist, Hair Nation, Appice Brothers. What is going on, Jim?
Hey, buddy. How are you? Thanks for having us.
Good, good. I mean, this is the first time I've had everybody on call, like a conference call. So let's hope the audio is clear out there. Okay. So, guys, I want to talk about this Vinnie Vincent show cancellations. I know you recently did an interview, but before we get into that, I'd like to also talk to you about what's going on in your lives musically. So, Jim Crean, I guess just to make things easier, I'll point each one of you out because I know it's just audio.
Yeah.
Jim Crean, tell me what's going on. I know you got a solo album coming out, 2 solo albums coming out, come July 24th. Quickly tell me about that.
Yeah, I have a couple of albums coming out. Some great guests on it. I have, the legendary Carmine, of course, on it. I have Tony Franklin. I have some big players on there, and I'm real excited about that. And we're actually shooting a video next week for one of the singles, our single for the record. So
very, very exciting.
And what single is that?
Well, good question, Carmine.
Good question.
It's a great question. It's going to be we redid the great song by Rod Stewart, "Passion," that Carmine was involved in, and we did a really cool kind of hard rock version, right, Carmine?
Yeah, pretty cool actually. Well, it was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. So we're going to be putting a video out for that. We're filming that next week, and we should have that ready in a couple of weeks, and we're going to start flooding it with promotion on the new video. So
very cool.
That's what I got going on.
That's very, very cool. And of course, Hair Nation, right? This is a.
Oh yeah. We play all the time. You know us. We play everywhere. Got a lot of big shows coming with that. We're doing some direct support with Queensryche, Uli John Ross, Nita Strauss from Alice Cooper. We're going out on the road with her for a week.
Okay.
So a lot of stuff going on with that too. So.
All right. Now I saved Carmine for last here because I know there's a long list of projects and things you're up to. So Carmine, just give me the three things that are going on in your life.
Well, the main thing for me, record-wise, is I re-released my Guitar Juice sessions.
Yes.
That started in 95, 97, and I never released them in America. I never had them on a proper release that people actually knew about. Where I did a lot of promotion for it now, and it's on 32 tracks on Spotify. It has 32 tracks on iTunes, and Volume 1 and Volume 2. And then it's coming out. It came out on CD, and it just is being released now on vinyl as well.
Yes.
And I have guys like Brian May and Slash and Yngwie Malmsteen and Steve Moss, just to name a few. Ted Nugent, Dweezil Zappa, Zakk Wylde, and it's a really cool kind of album, sort of like Soundgarden meets Blue Murder meets the Beatles. It's really one of some of the best recording stuff that I've been involved in. I was involved in the writing, the production, and it's under my name. I put the whole project together as my idea. We had one lyric video come out with a song called Mother's Space that had Bumblefoot on it.
Nice.
And now the next video is coming out shortly with Doug Pinnick from King's X and Yngwie on it, along with me and Tony Franklin. And Kelly Keeling, who plays rhythm guitar and sings on most of the tracks, except this one and another track that Edgar Winter sang. And on the Edgar Winter track, it's got Mick Mars on guitar.
Very nice.
So it's a really unique album. And it's the first album of its kind that has so many guitar players on an album of original material that's not a tribute to anybody. So that's my main push now. And of course, setting up gigs for Vanilla Fudge and some some gigs with me and Vinny, and Jim's going to sing on
The Drum Wars.
in the summertime.
Right? The Drum
yeah,
Wars,
Yeah, the
is that
Drum
it?
Wars, Appice Brothers Drum Wars show.
And
then I'm recording a new Cactus album as well.
wow, that's amazing. Oh, jeez. By the way, just to tell everybody out there, I've actually seen you at the Hall of Heavy Metal History do the Drum Wars gig with your brother, and of course Jim Crean on vocals. And I got to say, it's fantastic. Excellent.
Thank you. Was that the one in L.A.?
Yes, it was. It was just recently in January.
You were there. So you saw my other band, Kodiak.
Yes, I did. Kodiak,
producing
another
and
great band.
co-managing. Yeah, we're working on them too.
Yeah.
So I'm working on them, and they're right in the middle of getting their first release next month, and we're doing videos for them. And, that's going really well. They're awesome. Young kids really doing kind of a young Van Halen vibe, you know.
Yeah. I actually interviewed your brother. I just didn't get a chance to interview you because it's just mayhem there.
Right, it was mayhem. It was crazy that night.
Yeah. So, and I guess that's pretty much. Is there anything else you guys like to promote?
Well, we have a Drum Wars.
I think, what were we going to say?
The Seattle Drum Wars show for sure.
Oh, yeah. We got a show in Seattle at the old, what's it called? Corsano?
Yeah.
Corsano in Seattle. It's a really cool venue from what I understand. It's July 20th. So that's going to be a lot of fun.
Perfect. All right. So let's get down to it. Recently, Vinnie Vincent was interviewed and, made a couple of claims. And I spoke to Jim offline. And he basically wants to discuss those claims because he felt like those claims were, how do you want to say this? Incorrect. Is that the right word?
Incorrect. Yes, not right. They're not sure. Incorrect.
So,
especially when he was blaming it on the promoter. I mean, the promoter did nothing but try his best to make these things happen, you know.
Yeah.
And Vinny was really his own, what's the word?
His worst enemy.
Yeah, I'd say that. I didn't want to say it, but you said it.
We said it, whatever.
Because, the promoter, Derek, hired me. So I knew Vinny, and I talked to Vinny, and we said, maybe it'd be cool if I did the gigs with you. And Vinny agreed, and he hired me and put the deal together. I brought Tony Franklin, and Vinny never heard of Tony Franklin, never played with him. And then they were going through singers, and I said, look, I got this guy, Jim Crean, that can sing high as that guy that Vinny loves, who was on his album.
Yeah, Fleischman.
Robert Fleischman. And I told Jim about it. He was up for it. And then Derek talked to him, and Derek said, I believe, why don't you put your voice on a couple of Vinny's tracks, and we'll send it to Vinny and see what he thinks. So that's what we did. And from what I remember, Vinny said to me, or said to the promoter, that he thought it was fine. So we were moving ahead. Now we're still waiting for set lists. And then when we never got any from Vinny, the promoter sent me and Jim and Tony some lists of songs, which included Vinny's songs, Kiss songs, and I thought that's what we were going to do. And then Vinny started steering away, and I blatantly said to him, if he's been playing, because when I saw that Kiss Cruise thing, he looked like he wasn't comfortable or scared or not comfortable or something, And I blatantly said, can you still play? Because usually you don't take any solos or nothing.
Yeah.
And he said, I can still play. So then after this whole thing happened with Jim Crean, he said, then he turned away from himself and said, I don't want to do any Kiss songs. I don't want to do any of these songs. Vinnie Vincent. I just want to jam for an hour and a half.
Okay.
And after he just put out a press release with the promoter saying, I'm going to do Kiss songs and we're going to do Vinnie Vincent songs, come down. This is him verbally saying that. It was on the ad. And then he reneged on that and said he just wanted to jam. Quite honestly, I don't want to jam. I don't want to go on a stage and jam. speedball jam, just to go and jam. I want to play songs. I wanted to play songs that people were coming to hear.
Yeah.
Because that's going to reflect on me and Tony going to see a show and it's just jamming and, no rehearsing, no work put into it at all. Just jamming, Yeah, I mean, I love jamming, but I like jamming songs, not just getting up and playing. Well, here's a riff, start a riff jam in 20 minutes. And you're still going. It's going to,
Yeah. Carmine,
most likely not going to be great.
Did you talk to him directly? Did you talk to him through email?
Yes.
Or was it always through promoters?
No, I talked to him a few times directly.
And he said, guys, we're going to make this happen. I want Jim Crean as the singer. It was all confirmed.
No. He never told me about Jim Crean. He told the promoter about Jim Crean.
All right.
And, but I was working behind the scenes with Jim to get Jim to sing a few of the songs, to send to Vinnie, to show Vinnie that he could sing the songs. And then we got back from the promoter, Derek, who, would have no reason to lie about it. And Vinnie said, oh, it sounds good. So we're going to move ahead. And then Vinnie did an audio for him. It was after that. I believe it was after that.
Yeah, it was. Yep.
And so, Jim, tell us about the audio that you did, if you don't mind.
Who, me?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, pretty much exact. Carmine sums everything up perfect, actually, because the timeline, he's exactly right on all this. So what happened was Derek called me, and I initially, was approached about this, and wanted me to sing some songs of his songs. So I did that, and he got them back to Vinnie Vincent, and he was very impressed with it. Derek called me the day after he talked to Vinnie and said Vinnie was very happy with the vocals, loves it. We're going to make a press announcement, which he did a video, announcing the All-Star Band. And then we're going to put a poster out. So we did that as well.
Sure.
And, at that time, me, Carmine, and Tony really weren't even talking about it publicly at all. This was all, like Carmine said, behind-the-scenes stuff. And then Derek called me and said, he asked me to please start sharing it. Vinnie wants to get, a buzz going.
Yeah.
And so then we started, promoting it. And then he just kind of changed his mind on a lot of different things. But, so that's kind of where we were going with this.
So this is what the claim was. Vinnie repeatedly denied that the decision to cancel the Nashville shows from 7 to 8 were not his idea. There's one uncontroverted fact that actually did happen. That is, Vinnie Vincent, did not cancel that show. A matter of fact, my attorney, Chris Royer, had been negotiating for months with the promoter, so this was done all between the promoter and my attorney.
Not correct. The negotiations were, but the cancellation came from Vinnie. He didn't want to do the gig with Jim Crean, and he told me he wanted to do the gig, which is jamming.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't want to. I didn't want to do that. I jam a lot in the songs we do with drum wars with every band I've ever had before Vinnie Vincent was even, in my life.
Yeah.
But just to go on stage where people pay to get in and just say, okay, Vinnie, start a riff. And then he starts a riff and then we join in, not knowing where we're going, with no rehearsals, no anything. To me, that's not a professional show that, I want people to pay to see me playing in.
Absolutely.
Because it's really baloney, really,
Yeah. I mean, he also claims that he was very dissatisfied of the picking of the singer, which was Jim Crean, I would assume, right? He did not approve of this. I mean, there's a poster with Jim Crean on it. I mean...
Well, look, like I said, after he said he liked Jim Crean was okay, we wouldn't have done anything else if he didn't say okay with Jim Crean, because I gave him 3 other singers, and he told me he didn't like them.
And they were high caliber singers, right? We're not going to mention names, but they were high caliber singers.
They were. I forgot even who they were.
They were all big name guys, yeah.
There were a couple of name guys, but a couple of them couldn't do it, But I gave Jim and 2 other guys. I can't remember who the other 2 other guys were. So he said he didn't like them. Then, word came back through Derek, the promoter, that he thought Jim was okay, that it would work, And he even said to me on the phone, then he said, this is our chance to really, get this happening, and it would be something great for the next couple of years for all of us. I said, yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
But then he changed everything. He even, like I said, he did an audio that said, hey, it's Vinnie Vincent, come see the gig for February 7th and 8th. We're going to be playing Kiss and Vinnie Vincent songs. We're going to rock. We're going to kick ass. Come on down, blah, blah, blah.
All-star band, yeah.
And that went out.
Jim, were you mentioned in that promo?
Yeah, it was me, Carmine, and Tony. Yeah.
He didn't mention by names.
Oh, you're right. He said all-star band, right.
Okay.
He said to come down, but that was after the fact. That was after the fact of when he heard it. So to blame it all on Derek, who's the nicest guy and has been really ill since all this happened. He hasn't been able to really stand up for himself, because he's been really ill in the hospital, out of the hospital. The last thing on his mind is Vinnie Vincent right now. He's trying to get healthy. And to see, Vinnie saying it was his fault, it wasn't his fault.
No.
It was not his fault. He did everything he can to try and make these gigs happen. And I mean, even the first gig was done in Memphis. It was supposed to be done in Memphis.
Yeah.
At Elvis, at a venue in Elvis's Graceland. What a great place to bring your career back.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And he canceled both of those. So
you know him
that's
from
what you're doing.
You know him from before Kiss, right?
Yeah, I knew him before he was in a band.
What was he like back
that
then?
I had? He was, he ended the band. Let's put it that way.
Okay, but hold on a second. The guys from Kiss asked a recommendation from you, right?
Yes.
What was
and
your opinion?
I told him, he's a great talent. He is. He's a great talent.
Yes.
At the time, he was a great guitar player, and not like he played in the Vinnie Vincent band, like he played in Kiss, like he played in my band. He was like, a blues rock player, like in the lines of Jeff Beck, and he was great, fantastic, and he was a great songwriter, really good singer, good vocal arranger, and really talented,
Mm-hmm.
really talented, and he reneged on his word that he had with us, and it broke the band up. Same thing that he did with Kiss, from what I understand.
Yeah, they're not.
And then I haven't talked to him in years. And I talked to him when he did this comeback. That Derek, the promoter, he's the one that brought him out of hiding, and started him, on a career again, and through Derek, I got to talk to Vinnie, and Vinnie, he thanked me for lending him drums when he was starting the Vinnie Vincent Invasion. That I didn't even know I lent him because my manager at the time lent him. I had a small drum company that rented drums out, and I guess he called Alan, my manager, ex-manager, he passed away now, and said, "Do you have drums I could borrow? I'm trying to put some demos together." And he lent him the drums. I didn't even know I lent him. They were my drums.
Okay.
And he thanked me for it. It was a really nice conversation the first time I talked to him,
Mm-hmm.
I think last year. And talked for an hour and a half. It was really, rehashing stuff and not even mentioning, what happened with my band and what happened with Kiss, just, as a friend to friend, And then we started talking more, and then I ended up going to do this thing with him, Had I known it was going to end up like this, I never would have committed to it. Because, it makes my name look bad. And I'm being dragged around in all this press also, and all his press releases, all my quotes coming up.
Yeah.
And all I want to really promote, which I would like you to put in there, is that I'm coming out with this new lyric video, called This Time Around with Yngwie and Doug Pinnick and the vinyl of Guitar Zeus.
Yeah.
But I keep getting these Google alerts with different headlines that Vinny's putting out, And I've been around a long time. Vinny's been around, a long time. Most of it was in hiding.
But he's got the Speedball Jam coming April, right? Or sorry, this is
June
June 7th.
You know what?
June 7th.
You know what that is? You know
What
what that is?
What is it?
It's Jimmy jamming. Just what I told you.
Yeah, 60 people invited, $300 a ticket. You pay through PayPal.
Which is ridiculous.
Why didn't they take you as a band? I mean, he has a new hand-picked musicians, Mike Weeks and Chuck White.
Because he doesn't want to do songs.
Okay.
He has no singer. He doesn't want to do songs. And this is a way of not having to rehearse, I guess. I don't know. When you're doing a jam, you don't rehearse.
You think he's going to bail?
Jam.
You got Jim Cream. Do you think he's going to bail on this? You think it's going to get canceled?
I don't know him enough.
He said he's driving his own car now.
Yeah.
Where before, Derek was driving the car.
Okay.
And he's driving the car and putting in people that he wants in it. These two guys that are unknown. I don't know who they are. And I would be very surprised. I mean, I personally, if I was a Vinnie fan, after canceling 2 gigs, I would have bought tickets twice, unless I was such a freaked out Vinnie fan. I mean, come on, would you go see anybody? I wouldn't go see anybody.
I wouldn't pay $300, that's for sure. No way.
And $300 a ticket.
Yeah.
And then $500 if you want him to sign a guitar. I mean, it's outrageous,
Also, we shouldn't forget, I mean, again, he is a talent. He's written some great songs over the years. I don't want to crap on him completely here, but, he's done some great music. I'm sure, maybe he's got issues. I don't know. But he's done some great music. Vinnie Vincent Invasion, those 2 albums are great. The Kiss stuff he did was wonderful. I mean, I'm not going to knock him that way, but it seems that he can't get he's disorganized. That's what it is. He's completely disorganized.
Totally.
But that's on him,
Well, yeah, but I mean, the guy was, disappeared for 30 years.
Yeah.
What does that tell you?
Yeah.
I mean, we had all kinds of rumors. Well, I got tapes of the Carmine and the Rockers with Vinnie, and Derek wanted to release like 50 or 100 copies at these gigs on vinyl, just to autograph it, just for collectors, and he wouldn't do it. And I've got, before all this happened with Vinnie coming out again, I have this guy that was in the band named Cyril. He knows Vinnie even before I knew him.
Okay.
Because Vinnie played with Felix Cavalieri years ago, and Cyril played with him. And Cyril played with Laura Nero with Vinnie. And he knows him from when he grew up in Connecticut. He's the one that said to me when he saw that video on the Kiss Cruise thing, he said, Vinnie's like a show-off. He would never, the old Vinnie would never get up on stage and look like that and not play solos and try and get all the attention, Yeah. So I said, yeah, I know what you mean. Even Paul Stanley told me that Vinnie went down on his knees, at their rehearsal, I mean, that's the way Vinnie was, so that cruise thing didn't look like Vinnie, the old Vinnie anyway. And, he played with him, and we got tapes of Carmine and the Rockers live, right? And then he said, why don't we release them, and then maybe Vinnie will try and sue us and come out of hiding,
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know if I want to do that.
Yeah, I'm going to mention two things here. So there's people who are sending in messages as we're talking. So Downfall's telling me that in the 90s there was a box set, these invisible box sets that he actually sold to people, but he never delivered. Many fans.
Right. I heard about that.
I
mean, it's unbelievable. And come on, how do you do that? I just sent out guitars vinyls that people ordered. I mean, how do you do that?
They were never.
And again, people order it and they don't get it.
Ethically, terribly.
Yeah, I mean, this goes. I mean, we're just talking about his character now, right? I mean, he's had a history of stuff like this, right? And again, these are claims by fans on. You could go on the internet and fan forums that people never received their
I've read about that. I did read about that.
And
people were saying to me, "You're playing with a guy like this." I said, "I never heard of this. I didn't know this was happening." But at the time, everything was copacetic. Even the Derek paid us a deposit for Vinnie. And he put it out.
What do you say to a promoter that wants to book him in some city? I mean, buyer beware. Is that it? Get
Good
a
luck.
deposit.
Good luck.
Make sure you
Good
got
luck.
get a retainer. Is that it?
Well, I mean, it's usually the other way around. You give a deposit to the artist.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, but I
Give a deposit to the
I mean,
promoter.
I would say that any promoter that's been watching what's going on, I can't imagine who would take a chance. Maybe that's why he's doing this himself at the SIR. The money's going to Vinnie Vincent's PayPal. Yeah.
You guys had contracts, right, with Vinny? I mean, I'm assuming, right? There were contracts, more or less, or verbal agreements.
It was just a letter agreement. It was no big contract.
Yeah,
It was with the promoter, not with Vinny. It was with the promoter,
yes.
with Derek, the one that Vinny's saying it's his fault. I'm saying it's not his fault. He did everything possible and went beyond possible to fix things. To get it going, to keep it on track. I mean, look, he brought him out of hiding. He put together that Kiss Expo that Vinny came out on, that made Vinny money.
Yes.
Gave him all the press. He did that. Vinny didn't do that. He did that. He put that gig together in Memphis at Graceland. He did that. Vinny blew that out. And he put these 7th and 8th gigs together. And Vinny wanted to do it in a hotel ballroom. And, and I talked to him about that, and Derek talked to him about that and said, you got to do it in a venue that's built for sound, not a ballroom of a hotel, And so Derek did everything possible to make these gigs happen. You know why? Because he was a Kiss fan, too.
Yeah, it comes down to that, doesn't
And
it?
he was a Vinny fan. But now after all this, he never wants to hear the word Vinnie Vincent again.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
I'm kind of shocked. I'm a fan too, right? A Kiss fan and a Vinny fan back in the day, and I wanted it to happen, right? I wanted you guys to be with him.
Yeah, I wanted it to happen too because he's a really good player, and and normally, I mean, I don't know if he's a good player anymore. He's
We don't know. Yet to be
played for
determined.
30 years.
Yeah.
Nobody knows. But I told, in talking to him, I said, you're going to love playing with Tony because, man, me and Tony are like monsters together. I even suggested we do a Blue Murder song. You didn't want to hear about that.
Oh, nice. Valley of the Kings.
Yeah, it's something. Like we with me and Vinny, the Peace Brothers, we recorded and did Riot from Blue Murder. We did it live. People loved it. People loved it, And Jim sang the hell out of it. And on the record, we had Robin McCauley sing it.
Very cool.
But he didn't want to hear about that. He said, well, I just want to do Vinny and Kiss. I said, okay, that's cool. No problem. Because I actually like the songs he played on, Lick It Up and the ones on A Million to One, the Kiss songs. They were really, really good songs.
Yeah. I know Jim gave me the song list. Well, last time I spoke to him, it sounded like a great set, right? It sounded like an amazing set.
It would have been a good set, but that's the list that Derek put together because we couldn't get a list from Vinny.
Wow.
I mean, this is your show. You're working with me and Tony, top guys in our field, what we do, and you won't send a song list. Like 3 weeks before the show, a month before the show. I told him, I said, the way Tony Franklin works, when I worked with him many times like this, he'll take the song list, he'll write out all the bass parts, and then he'll play them, he'll listen to them. By the time we get to rehearsal, he'll know the thing backwards and forward. He'll know it better than you know it,
What about a jam? Jamming together? I mean, you'd want to jam at least one time together, right?
Well, we would have had three days rehearsal.
Right.
Which is about what you need for this kind of show.
Yeah.
It's not going to be rehearsed with full light show. He's not going to have a full light show and, and a light guy and videos and all. It was just going to be him playing with us,
Yeah.
But, then you need to rehearse with the lighting, with the effects and all that stuff.
Yes,
but
of course.
to do a show like just a reunion show where you're going to play his comeback show, you wanted to come back with some great musicians, kick ass, and go, wow, Vinnie can still play. That band was great. I'd go see him again. That's all you're trying to, do on a comeback, really.
For sure.
Okay, so I asked Jim this question, Jim Crean. Why do you think Vinny's canceling shows? Just your opinion. And again, why do you think he's always doing this?
Well, I think Carmine said it most of it, exactly the way we all feel. I asked Derek, because I talked to Derek a bunch of times, and when Derek had just got a phone with Vinny, he told me, he said, I said, well, how's Vinny going to be towards all this? Can he play? He goes, well, he says he can. And I said, how's he going to be? He goes, he might be a little standoffish at first, but then once he hears the three of you guys play, he's going to be really into it. So I thought, okay, great. And honestly, like Carmine said, all we really wanted to do here was go out there and just do a really great job for him, put his name back on the map. I think the KISS fans deserve that. They're loyal to him no matter what.
Yeah, and it would have been a good vehicle for all of us to go out and do gigs and have a good time and play.
Right.
So for me in my career at this point in my life, I just want to go out and have a good time and play with people I want to play with and have a good time.
Right.
Not go through all this drama.
No.
This is stuff I did when I was 20 years old. Mm-hmm. All this kind of drama. Most guys. Most guys, that have been in it for a while just want to go out and play and have a good time.
I saw him on the pre-KISS tour when that little video they have online.
Yeah, right.
He did nothing, basically. He just played rhythm guitar. I mean, there was no challenging bits there to see if he still had his chops.
He didn't play not a bit of a solo.
No.
Which I was unbelievably surprised. I was expecting to see him. That's what put the question mark in my face. And I said to him, can you still play? He said, I play every day in my house. I haven't, normally if you're a really good player, you don't usually lose it. But, I mean, if you're doing it, if you haven't done it for 30 years, yeah, you could use it. If you don't use it, you lose it,
Yeah, and Fleshman also said that the reason why he quit on your first shows was disorganization. Yeah, he doesn't want to live through this again.
Well, yeah, and he blamed a little bit on Derek because he didn't get the right. Look, you got Fleischman's name was smaller than me and Tony.
Yes.
I mean, who's known more than? Yeah, I think I have more. Yeah, I think I'm more known than Fleischman.
Yes.
and I, and we played with. Fleischman played. I heard he played with Journey for a minute. I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
but
before.
But maybe that's what pissed him off. But he should have had a picture up there and a name. I mean, I don't know why it was done like that. That was maybe Derek screwed up, and maybe that's why. One of the reasons Fleischman didn't want to do it also, meaning disorganized in all levels. But if he's been through before, I know what I've been through with Vinny, and I know went through some stuff with Vinny, and stuff I read. And I'm surprised that he still wanted to do it.
Yeah. I mean, again, at the end of the day, we all wanted him to succeed, and I'm not telling any promoters out there not to book him. I'm not saying that by all means. It's a free country still. If you want to book him away. We're just talking. We're just hypothetically talking about the situation here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going by what I've experienced with it. Look, I have no hard feelings for Vinny. I don't hate Vinny, And if he's a great player and these things come out and they work and he has a super jam and he sells $300 tickets to 60 people, good for him.
Exactly.
But
my final take on it, as far as I'm concerned, is I like Carmine said, I wish him all the best of luck. I hope he works out whatever he's got going on. Me personally, don't feel that he should be, blaming me. I was there to try and help him out. And, he's looking for excuses to not do whatever it is because of the shortcomings.
That's a great
I
point. I
feel
mean,
that
why are you the
my name-
scapegoat? Why do you think you were the scapegoat? in
Well,
this?
and Derek's
And Derek.
And Derek.
and Derek went beyond the point of a promoter, beyond anyone I've ever seen.
I think to answer that question, Jimmy, why I think I'm the scapegoat is because, I came into the band late after everything. And I think it's just, Carmine's a very high profile. So is Tony. But Carmine's very high profile.
You're not going to piss off Carmine.
No, I'm going to give Carmine props because he's got a career that one can only dream of, because he worked hard for that.
Yes.
So he's not going to really go slamming Carmine because Carmine's very powerful. So he's going to take someone like myself and maybe blame that. I don't know. I'm just hypothetically thinking. But
well, he did in one thing blame me and Tony, saying that the musicians that Derek picked, only were going to rehearse for 3 days, and I needed more rehearsal than that.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I
guess he's blaming all three of us. But the moral of the story is,
blame goes all around. Pretty soon he'll be blaming me.
Carmine, I don't feel so bad after all now.
Yeah.
But no, the bottom line is this. Everything he talked about.
But Jim, lately he's been blaming you. So.
Oh yeah, you're right. So everything he talked about is in contradictions. I listened to that interview he did, and everything. He didn't. When he was asked a question, he was very evasive. And I felt that he should have been more probed a little bit more and maybe got the right answers from him. I don't know. Rather than being a fan, you need to, really get down to the bottom of it, kind of like what you do, Jimmy. So, my opinion is I hope it works out for him. I have no ill feelings towards. I don't even know him, so.
And he didn't know you, and that's probably the other reason.
Maybe, but I just feel he should stop blaming me for his shortcomings. That's all I have to say on that.
And I guess the question to you both is, shouldn't you just come clean and say, look, I'm not ready yet?
If he ain't ready, then that's what he should do.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Right? But I'm just curious to see if this thing is going to happen in June. Yeah.
Bets are on.
I don't really know. I don't know if he could play. He told me he could play. He can jam and can play. But, tell you the truth, I like the Vinnie Vincent with Kiss and when he played with me and played before other people.
Okay.
The Vinnie Vincent that he played, in the Vinnie Vincent Invasion was to me, Vinnie trying to be Yngwie.
Yeah.
Breaking
guitars and microphones.
Well, he
guitars.
was better. He was better than that.
Oh. Yeah.
He was really an amazing blues rock guitar player with great chops and fast when he needed to be fast and bluesy and funky and soulful, and singing and writing great songs. That was the Vinnie I knew. Some of those Vinnie Vincent Invasion songs were good songs, and some of one or two of them were part of songs that we did with my group, Carmine and the Rockers, but all the solos to me were all that.
Bumblebee.
Bumblebee, which is fine to do once in a while, but every solo, he was better than that, in my opinion.
Yeah. Is there anything else you'd like to add, Jim?
No, I think we summed it up. I think I'm done talking about Vinnie Vincent every interview I do. They ask me about that.
I thought we were done when the gigs were canceled.
Me too. We should have been.
And I've seen all this press coming out. I'm going, oh, come on, man. Enough of it. And Carmine said, the headline was a couple of stupid headlines. Carmine said this, or
misquoted.
You're taking something, misquoted, and just ridiculous,
Yeah.
And I said, why is this so important to everybody? That's what I said.
Agreed.
And why is this so important? Just,
Yeah. So, anyways, let's plug what you guys are up to once again, okay? Guitar Zeus project, of course, right? Being reissued.
Yeah, and the fact that we released one lyric video. We're all over Spotify and all over the digital platforms. We're on iTunes. We're shortly to be in Amazon. We can get copies of my autographed copies of the CD and the vinyl at merchnow.com. And we have the new lyric video out with Doug Pinnick, who sings unbelievable, and Yngwie, who plays amazing, who plays a little more bluesy on this one, which is funny about what we were just talking about. And the celebration of the vinyl coming out for all the vinyl freaks.
Very cool.
And so that's what really I'm promoting while I'm in the studio with Cactus, and I'm doing a gig up in Rochester this weekend, the Rochester Hall of Fame. Playing with Bumblefoot and Tony Franklin.
Very cool.
And Phil Narrows singing, and then I'm going to do the video with Jim on the Passion video.
Nice.
So that's what's happening.
What is the Cactus in terms of musical direction? What is it shaping up to sound like? Typical Cactus?
Sounds like Cactus.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's no new music. You're not exploring any other avenues?
Well, yeah, there is one song there's one. Yeah, it's hard rock and blues. There is one song that's sort of like a progressive, like Beatles-ish kind of song with a really heavy, like Hey Jude kind of ending kind of thing,
Nice.
Which is not usual for Cactus, but it's really, we have Paul Warren playing with us now, who is like Jim McCarty up to the 10th power, and he is just amazing. He played with Rod Stewart 14 years, really good songwriter, great singer. His first claim to fame was playing on Pop Is Like a Rolling Stone with the Temptations, played guitar on that. So we just recut that in celebration of that, and it came out fantastic, and it really sounds like Cactus, it really does. It's really awesome. And next year is Cactus' 50th anniversary.
Wow.
So we're probably going to release it in conjunction with that, with stuff from Rhino Records and Cleopatra Records that also have Cactus stuff, and we're going to try and do a 50th anniversary year next year. So,
Carmine, the first time I ever heard of you was I was 15 years old, and I used to play in a garage band, and my drummer was about 14 years old, and he had these albums, these vinyls of Carmine Appice, drum, learn how to play the drums, and these he had all these albums of you, and that's my first exposure of you, him playing me those records.
You mean like Cactus?
Instructional drums.
Oh, the instructional ones.
Yes.
Oh, you mean the little ones that came with the book?
Yes.
Oh,
that was my first time. At 14 or 15 years old. That's when I was.
That's funny.
It's very cool.
But yeah, I mean, that book was the first rock drum book that was ever made by a rock star kind of thing, So
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Jim, what do you want to promote? I know you have 2 albums coming out, solo albums.
Yep, I got those 2 coming out on Visionary Noise. Got a lot of great guests on there. I got, of course, Carmine Appice. I got his brother Vinnie Appice on most of the tracks. I got my buddy Mike Trent from White Lion. So a lot of guys on there. Frank Domino from Angel. So a lot of
Tony Franklin.
Tony Franklin, of course. Yep.
Legend.
Yep.
Baron Kumis. Rudy Sarzo's on there. So a lot of great players are on it. A lot of cool songs. We got the video coming out for Passion. That should be out in a couple weeks. And, and of course, we got the Drum War show in Seattle. Make sure to get tickets to that. That'll sell out. And we got the biggest thing is if you don't have a Piece Sinister, go out and get that because it's a great album.
Piece Sinister, great album.
I'm really proud of that record. I'm really proud of that record.
Guys, I got to tell you, watching you 3 guys play live, wow, man. And sorry, actually, I guess Tony Franklin's part of the band too, right? The Appice Brother Drum Wars?
Well, no, we have James Caputo, who's also in Cactus, playing bass.
Right.
Oh, okay, well.
And he's awesome. And then Artie Dillon, who played on the record, he's a monster.
Yes.
Well, live, you guys are fantastic. The Appice Brothers live is incredible. Such a treat.
Thank you.
Such a treat.
Thank you. Okay.
All right, guys.
Well, I got to go. All right, dude. So I hope you got enough. All right.
We got enough. Guys, thank you very much for being on the show. Jim.
Okay, man.
And Carmine, thank you very much. Have yourself a great night.
Thanks, Jimmy.
Cheers, man. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.